Straight ahead on CCX News. This rain and snow is what everyone is talking about.
I can say I've never actually held off on plowing snow because of Mother Nature working to our advantage.
How local crews are working to keep roads clear. Plus, it's a waiting game at the Plymouth DMV.
It's been just constantly long lines.
We'll tell you why. And a Swedish Christmas honor for an Osseo student. That story and more starting right now on CCX News.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. It's been a bizarre couple of weather days here in the Northwest Metro. First came the snow, then the rain. As Eric Nelson found out, that combination has created quite a mess.
So this morning we actually had trucks starting at 4 a.m. trying to make sure our main roads were clear before the morning commute.
The weather outside really feels quite, and travel is challenging, whether you are driving or pedaling.
This has been a very complex snow event. Snow turning to rain, back to snow, and potentially to ice.
In the Northwest Burbs, a few inches of snow quickly turned to slush, thanks to raindrops that fell all day. This made things tricky for Mark Ray, Crystal's director of Public Works.
If we plowed the road, all that snow would go to the catch basins. This water would then kind of pond, and then we have single-digit temperatures tomorrow, which means those ponds would turn to ice, creating a hazard for everybody.
Crystal's strategy was more proof that this mixed bag storm wasn't your typical winter event.
I can say I've never actually held off on plowing snow because of Mother Nature working to our advantage.
Meanwhile, across the Twin Cities, city crews and residents cleared sidewalks and driveways.
It's heavy. It's hard for an old lady.
Brooklyn Park's Jackie Baker wasn't exactly thrilled to be shoveling liquid snow.
Slushy, and it's very heavy, and it's very wet.
Normally in late December, skating rinks and sledding hills like these here at Central Park would be jammed. But not today. This place is a ghost town. Instead, Brooklyn Park plow operators cleared slush from a rink that is temporarily closed. And sledding was just a rumor. The rain is washing winter away. The only snowman left standing was this guy. However, things will change. Liquid rivers will soon freeze as the thermometer drops, which could create some slippery roads.
Tomorrow morning with the cold temperatures, it'll be very slick, so just please allow extra time and pay attention.
I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Thank you, Eric. But the wacky winter weather hasn't stopped the avid athletes who actually embrace the cold and snow. As Delane Cleveland reports, a new addition to Theo Wirth Park offers the chance to try something new this winter.
During this week-long lull between Christmas and New Year's, a group of hardy Minnesotans with free time and a desire to fight cabin fever hit the trails at Theo Wirth Park in Golden Valley.
Because what else are you going to do in the Minnesota winter? I think it's your alternative to staying inside all out for 6 months out of the year.
A steady rainfall Thursday morning made trail conditions less than ideal.
Today is probably the most miserable winter day that you could ever get.
But even miserable weather did little to deter the cross-country skiing enthusiasts.
We don't really stop for the weather, and that just speaks to the spirit of the people who do this sport.
It also speaks to the draw of the brand new Trailhead, the 14,000 square foot, $12 million building that was designed to be the home of outdoor adventure at Wirth Park.
We've had the snowmaking facilities here for a while. There's been some snowboarding and some tubing, but the facility has really kind of brought everything together.
John Munger is executive director of the Lopet Foundation, which offers a variety of outdoor recreation activities at the park year-round.
Our skiing has been fantastic this year.
This is the Lopet Foundation's first winter with the Trailhead.
The Trailhead has been huge. It's given us kind of this central point for people all across the city and all across the metro, really, to gather and pursue their outdoor activity, whatever it is.
Inside the Trailhead, you can rent skis at the adventure shop, get your hands on a fat tire bike, or even do some weightlifting if you don't feel like going out in the cold. Basically, it's a place for all-out fun that's designed to build a sense of community and encourage people to try new things in freezing temperatures.
We're blessed and cursed with this geography, and and I think it's a way to make what some people may see as a curse a blessing.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
On Saturday, the Lopet Foundation will offer tubing and snowboarding for the first time this winter. And in mid-January, a new Cajun restaurant will open inside the trailhead. 2 local police departments have been recognized for throwing a great party this summer. Maple Grove and Brooklyn Park finished in 2nd and 3rd places respectively for their National Night Out parties in cities with populations between 50 and 100,000 people. National Night Out is typically in August, and it tries to encourage engagement between neighbors. Suffolk, Virginia finished in 1st place. If you are someone who needs to take the driver's test to renew or receive your driver's license, be prepared to wait your turn. The driver's testing facility in Plymouth is now booking out until the end of March and beginning of April. Reporter Meredith Hackler shows us the best ways you can navigate this busy time of year.
Waiting in line at the DMV isn't something anyone looks forward to.
So our appointment was at 8:20, and we've been here since 8:20. Our return came in at 10:02.
For Sean and his daughter, they waited around 2 hours for her to take the driver's test.
She was about a month and a half out. Yeah, which is also it's very inconvenient because they want to get the license and everything. So, but it is what it is.
Waiting is usually the name of the game at the DMV, but if the wait time to get an appointment seems longer than normal right now, that's because it is. The Department of Public Safety, which regulates the DMV, declined to do an on-camera interview, but they told us that the beginning of the school year is traditionally one of the busiest times for scheduling road tests in Minnesota, and there is more demand than there are examiners and available appointments. That demand typically begins to decrease in winter months, but this year the demand has continued into the winter. However, they say minimizing wait times is a top priority.
Anybody here to take a road test?
Because we scheduled mine before my 16th birthday so that we could get in right away, but I think it was a decent amount of time.
If you plan on visiting the DMV, plan ahead. Some exam stations schedule a month or more in advance because they only offer road tests once a week or month. However, they say some metro exam stations are opening up appointments weekly right now to decrease the amount of time people have to wait to take the road test. In Plymouth, Meredith Hackler, CCX News. The representative from the Department of Public Safety I spoke with says that the best way to get your road test taken sooner rather than later is by checking for cancellations or appointments that may have been added earlier than what they are currently booking. However, those cancellations and appointments are on a first-come, first-served basis. For more information about testing facilities or to book your road test, head to our website, ccxmedia.org. Shannon?
All right, thank you, Meredith. Still ahead on CCX News, we take a look at a road to an easier commute. Plus, Breck's girls hockey team rallies in the opening round of holiday tournament play. We have the highlights there. But first, after the snow stops, temperatures plunge. We'll be right back. It was Benjamin Franklin who wrote, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes." In Minnesota, you can add road construction to that list too. Here in the northwest suburbs, there's definitely plenty of it. Here's Eric Nelson with a look at transportation projects in today's Year in Review.
In the northwest suburbs, it is a challenge to keep traffic flowing. In 2018, MnDOT finished a major project on US 169 in Brooklyn Park in Champlin. That meant a summer of gummed-up traffic, which caused long delays. Even delivery drivers for Pilgrim Cleaners were forced to find alternate routes.
They're sitting in traffic on the road. They're kind of just stuck, and there's not much they can really do.
It was very much a rough summer. We had a lot of closures up here. We had single-lane traffic. The big problem in this area is there's only really one good way to get across the Mississippi River without traveling several miles in each direction.
In the Brooklyn, State Highway 252 has been a wedge issue for decades. But progress was made this year.
It's going to be addressed. Now we've got full funding, and in 2022 is when MnDOT would like to start that project.
Brooklyn Center Mayor Tim Wilson believes this will be a game changer for his city.
The impact is for Brooklyn Center is that there's going to be easier access from the east side on the riverside of 252 to the rest of our community.
Removing the lights will also make things safer. The intersection of 252 and 66th Avenue is one of the most dangerous in all of Minnesota.
I've seen elderly women my age and slightly older who cannot make it across that street before the light turns, and they're stuck in the middle then.
There were also many county projects in 2018 that were finished or almost completed. Those include Brooklyn Boulevard in Brooklyn Center, 1.5 miles on Douglas Drive in Golden Valley, and restructuring the Golden Valley Road Bridge over Bassett Creek. But for MnDOT and county crews, their work never ends because there is always another job on the horizon.
We also have a pretty big pavement repair project coming on 94 from Maple Grove out to Rogers. That's out in about the 2020 timeframe right now. That's going to include some auxiliary lanes from the 610 interchange up to a new interchange near Brockton Avenue.
Meanwhile, there was some cutting-edge technology unveiled in 2018 by MnDOT at their Maple Grove station. Engineer Nate Smith designed a light stick to make snowplows more visible.
Tried them. They were really successful last year when we were in blowing operations.
They took old materials that were lying around the shop to upgrade plow markers.
We ended up cutting the factory crimp off, pulling the piece of cable out of it, and then replacing it with LED light that finish looks like that.
The new and improved lighted markers are now being installed by MnDOT on its Maple Grove plows and snow equipment.
Up next, an Osseo senior high student gets a Swedish honor. We'll tell you what that is later in the show. But first, fishing pro Terry Tuma has some ice fishing tips to get you started this season. John Jacobson is in next.
It's a big week for holiday hockey and basketball tournaments. Two of the top girls hockey teams in the northwest suburbs are part of the Walser Invitational in Edina. The Breck girls faced Grand Rapids Greenway in the tournament quarterfinals. Second period, two Breck players overskate the puck. Claire Vekic walks in and scores for a 1-0 Grand Rapids lead. Same score in the third when Carly Bienick fights off two defenders. Since Ashley Halverson in on the breakaway, she scores for the Mustangs. But Grand Rapids takes the lead right back. Maddie Drotz bangs in the rebound, and it's 2-1. Breck levels the score again just over a minute later. Catherine Solohub gets the redirect goal to make it 2-2. And from there, the Mustangs go on a 3-goal run. Shea Messner whacks away at the rebound and scores for a 4-2 Breck lead. And then 8th grader Sadie Lindsay walks out of the corner and stick handles between the defenders and tucks in the backhand shot. Nice goal there. Breck advances to the semifinals with a 5-2 win. They get host Edina on Thursday night. New Hope Ice Arena is the site for a long-running girls holiday classic hosted by Armstrong Cooper. CCX Sports' Jay Wilcox has more on the tournament.
Thanks, John. That's right. It's been a fixture here at New Hope Ice Arena for a long time, the Armstrong Cooper Holiday Classic. We went through several different switches with teams coming in from various parts of the state, and at one time Armstrong and Cooper were separate, and now they're back together again, of course, and hosting this tournament. And they'll be taking on Wilmer in the night game, the 7:15 game here on the North Rink at New Hope, and that's a game you'll be able to see live right here on CCX. Armstrong Cooper coming into the tournament, a little bit of a slow start this season for sure. They've got 3 wins at this point, and that's the same number of wins that their first-round opponent Wilmer has. And we said an interesting group of teams coming in, including a team from Canada that's here this year as they get set to battle in what's back to an 8-team bracketed tournament over the next 3 days here at New Hope. So the good news to report also is that we're told that all of the teams have said yes, they will be able to make it here. Obviously the weather in various parts of the state hasn't been the greatest, and you have to worry about travel conditions, but it sounds like everybody is expected to make it, and the tournament should go on as planned here at New Hope Arena. Again, it's Armstrong Cooper getting set for their tournament opener. Of course, they get a chance to be on home ice and host this tournament and showcase their program a little bit, and you'll be able to see that game tonight again live Thursday night here as they take on Wilmer.
All right, thanks, Jay. The Armstrong Cooper Holiday Classic is now in its 23rd year. Princeton is back to defend its tournament title. Tigers were the 12th different team to win the event since Park Center won the first 2 Holiday Classics in 1996 and 1997. Wet snow and rain don't make for great ice conditions for lakes, but there is cold weather ahead. Here's Terry Tuma with this week's CCX ice fishing tip.
Last week we talked about fish in the water column, where to start, where to fish. And really it's so dependent on food sources and fishing pressure, as I mentioned last week. But you know, what we really have to understand is that it's not always 6 inches or 12 inches off the bottom. Just, you know, maybe you're fishing 30 feet of water, it could be perhaps 15 feet or 5 feet. And really the key into understanding these locations is use your Vexilar, and then with your Vexilar is marking not only your fish, but where is the fish in the water column in conjunction with my lure. That is so very, very important for us. If we're not using your electronics, we're actually fishing blind out there, and we really need to understand these depth locations. I'll give you a good example. We're doing a TV shoot up on Lake of the Woods, and we had a severe cold front that came through. We're fishing in 30+ feet of water. We were catching just small sauger. We needed a bigger fish, so towards the end of the day, we marked a fish about 15 feet off the bottom, and we had a strike, and it was a big walleye. So here again, is there a certain way of finding out where these fish are at? Yes, use your electronics.
Thanks, Terry. That's all for sports. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Up next, a Swedish tradition that comes to life for one Maple Grove family. We'll explain when we come back. An Osseo senior high student received an honor from the American Swedish Institute of Minneapolis. Anna Carlson received the title of Lucia. Swedish tradition has it that Lucia wears light in her hair and leads a holiday procession and gatherings. The American Swedish Institute picked Anna Carlson as Lucia based on her involvement in the American Swedish Institute and in the community. Anna says she's always wanted to be Lucia ever since she was a little girl, and she hopes she can embody the true meaning of what Lucia stands for.
Lucia's main message is just one of generosity and kindness and compassion and giving to the needy, and I think that's just a really good message to take away from it.
Anna was very active in her role during December events at the American Swedish Institute. Back here in the Northwest Suburbs, she is president of the Drama Club at Osseo Senior High, and she also competes in track, and she is a Girl Scout. She plans to study computer science when she goes to college. So congratulations for that honor, and I'm sure that will look good on a few college applications as well. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow, starting at 4 o'clock.